47% of the people who will vote for the president no matter what. All right, there are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled to health care, to food, to housing, to you name it. It's an entitlement, and the government should give it to them. And they will vote for this president no matter what. And I mean, the president starts off with 48, 49, 40, he starts off with a huge number. These are people who pay no income tax. 47% of Americans pay no income tax. So our message of low taxes doesn't connect. And he'll be out there talking about tax cuts for the rich. I mean, that's what they sell every 4 years. And so my job is not to worry about those people. I'll never convince them that they should take personal responsibility and care for their lives. What I have to do is convince the 5 to 10% in the Senate that are independent, that are thoughtful, that look at voting one way or the other depending upon, in some cases, emotion, whether they like the guy or not.
Oh, that's awesome. So first of all, my job is not to worry about those 47%. You're going to be president of the United States of America, and you're writing off nearly half the country? That's amazing. Second of all, a lot of those people in that 47% vote for Republicans anyway. They vote against their own economic interests all the time. Second of all, that 47% number is nonsense. They're talking about federal income tax. First of all, a lot of them don't pay that because of exemptions that were put in there by Republicans and Democrats alike. Home mortgage deduction, child tax credit, earned income tax credit, etc. And all those people pay payroll tax and and sales tax anyway. Now, almost everybody pays the sales tax, and by the way, for the poor, that's a much bigger percentage of their income than it is for the rich. And then if you take away the people who also pay payroll tax, that number drops down from 47 to 18 anyway. So it's grossly misleading. But what's more important is how Mitt Romney looks at it. Like, those guys, they're not going to be swung by my arguments for lower taxes for the rich. Yeah, of course they're not going to be swung by that. We hope they're not going to be swung by that. But he's basically telling these rich donors, obviously, I'm on your side, and we're trying to lower taxes for you folks, but I got these 47% that aren't paying enough income taxes, even though, of course, like I said, we're taking a huge chunk of their money in sales tax, payroll tax, etc. So we're not going to get, so let's not even worry about those guys. Well, nice of you to admit it. Of course, not in public, but secretly to the people financing your campaign. Now, in the next clip, he has the audacity to talk about how he didn't have a silver spoon when he was growing up.
I say that because there's a perception that, you were born with a silver spoon, you never had to earn anything and so forth. And frankly, I was born with a silver spoon.
Now, he goes on to say, hey, it's because I was born in America, and anyone born in this country has a 95% chance of likelihood of success. 95%? No. If they were born in your circumstances, they have that chance. Because your dad was a multimillionaire. He was the governor of Michigan. He ran for president. He ran a major car company. But Mitt Romney thinks, no, it's okay. Later in the speech, he explains, well, I didn't take my dad's inheritance, because by that time he's already stinking rich with the Bain Capital money. And he says he gave it away to charity, which of course means his church, most likely. And God knows where his church spent it. I know some of it was on hate campaigns against gay people in California. But anyway, that's his charity. So he says, since I didn't take the inheritance, I didn't have any advantages. No, it's not about the inheritance. It's that you got all those advantages to begin with. The best schools, whether it was junior high or high school or elementary school, God knows the tutors that you got, free education in college, you never had to worry about it. You didn't have to worry about being in a school where you couldn't even take the books home. You had every advantage known to man. But you apparently don't appreciate it at all in the sense that you think, I earned it. I got it all on my own. Are you kidding me? You think people were born into that same situation as you? I got news for you. There's a whole nother America where people weren't born with that silver spoon up their butt. You think it's easy for everybody in America? God, what a narcissist. He can't see beyond his own little sheltered existence. This is what people are talking about when they say Mitt Romney doesn't understand real Americans' problems. It's not that he's rich. It's that he lives in this bubble where it's surrounded by rich people. And as we showed you in a clip at the end of last week, he thinks, When asked what is the middle class, he said $200,000 to $250,000 a year. Now, what kind of a sheltered person are you that you think that's middle class in America? And now I love this one. He says, oh, he could win if it weren't for one thing. I'll get a load of this.
My heritage, my dad, you probably know, was the governor of Michigan and was the head of a car company, but he was born in Mexico. And had he been born of Mexican parents, I'd have a better shot of winning this, but he was unfortunately born of Americans living in Mexico. They lived there for a number of years, and I mean, I say that jokingly, but it would be helpful to be Latino.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you were born to Mexican parents, you'd obviously have a much better chance of becoming president because of all those past Mexican-American presidents. Oh, right, there were none. Again, it's spitting in your eye. This guy who had all of the advantages because of who he was when he was born turns around and says, oh, only if I was Mexican, I would have been better off. Really? Then where are all the Mexican presidents from the past? Where are all the politicians that are so wildly successful in America because they had the great advantage of being born to Mexican parents? Where the hell are they? This man couldn't connect to another person if his life depended on it. And apparently his entire campaign depends on it, and he still can't connect. He can't see anything outside of the bubble where all of his friends are millionaires and billionaires. Not only is it going to cost him the presidency, but it's revolting to look at.